You pressed anybody recently? You're a white guy. Like, you're an oppressive white guy, right? Oppressing anybody recently?
No, not really.
Well, come on, man. Like, you're white, dude. Like, how do you know? You've been like...
I guess I really don't know.
Yeah,
It's
all
one of
right.
those
Were
things.
you outside today? Yeah, you were outside because you got here. So, like, what? You're breathing, right? Maybe you're oppressing people by breathing. To be less white is to be less oppressive, less arrogant, be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we're going to watch a small segment from one of Sam Richards' longer live stream. The live stream is called The Racist Sociologist. It is linked in the description down below if you want to have the full context of what he's talking about. But just to give you an idea, he had done a long lecture on racism and DEI where he played devil's advocates for both sides, and they had done some skits. But this lecture was attended by a woke ideologue who worked for a DEI firm, in this case Coca-Cola, took everything out of context and framed it as if this was actually what Sam Richards was saying. So just to give you a little bit of context, now let's get into the video.
So last April or March or whenever it was, I don't know what it was, but there was this diversity training video or photo that got leaked. And the Coca-Cola company had hired these diversity trainer to come in and talk to their corporation and so on, right? And this is the kind of thing that happens, right? People hire me sometimes to do that kind of stuff. I don't know why, but whatever, they do. So this person came in, and someone took a shot of this slide, and this was a summary slide. To be less white is to be less oppressive, less arrogant, be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, break with the party, and break with white solidarity, okay? Personally, dude, I don't know about you, I find that really offensive. Like, it's disturbing to me. As someone who's trying to teach about this stuff and actually bring people together in a thoughtful way, not only do I find it disturbing and offensive and racist, to be honest with you, right?
I personally agree with that.
Do you see any value to it? Like, or do you like, but maybe because there's some of it, I don't know, what part of it could you agree with?
I don't really agree with any of it. It's just kind of singling out a certain group of people and saying that they're ignorant, oppressive, arrogant. It doesn't matter. Say you replaced white with black, white with Asian, white with Saudi. It doesn't matter. It still can be offensive to whatever group it's
Okay, so
directed to.
let me push back a little bit on this, right? But isn't there something like to be less white is to be a little less defensive, maybe? How about that one, dude? Less defensive. White people get pretty defensive about a lot of stuff. Man.
Yeah, everybody can. Everybody can defend
But in the world
themselves.
of race relations, white people have their own unique way of being defensive, right?
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, I'm just pushing a little bit because I'm like, I got to find something in this, right? Because, I say it's dumb overall, but some parts of it are probably dumber than others, right? To be less white is to be less oppressive, to be less arrogant, to be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant, more humble, to listen more, to break with the party line and break with white solidarity and so on. That's what it really means to be less white.
Am I supposed to respond to that?
Do you have any idea who said that?
Huh?
Do you know who said that?
I do not have, I don't know who said that.
Who do you think?
I don't know, maybe you?
If Sam said that, how would you feel about that?
I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that. I don't think anybody who's white needs to be less white to be like less of these things. Oh God. I think people of color can also be like arrogant and defensive and ignorant. I don't think it's like definitively white people. And I don't think anyone needs to feel like they have to be less white to be less oppressive or arrogant or whatever.
Sam actually said that. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I stand by what I said.
What do you think about it? What do you think about me saying that?
See, I feel like a lot of things you say are not necessarily like directly like, this is what I mean. I think you sometimes like you kind of work around it to make everyone think, and I feel like this might be one of them.
So do you believe I said that?
I do believe you said that.
You believe it?
I don't know if you meant it, but I believe you said it.
Why do you believe I said it? What leads you to believe I said it?
Because I've been to every class.
Yeah. So you know that I say things that are kind of getting you to, what do you mean? That I say things like this?
Yeah, like along the lines of just making us think, saying more provocative things to make us think.
Okay, all right. Well, so the thing is, can you tell her the story?
So yeah, this was something that was said about
Diversity training.
Oh,
Yeah.
in diversity training. Not sure where.
For Coca-Cola.
Oh, for Coca-Cola, and so that was something that was said there. And I don't know how it came back to you.
Yeah. So the person who put this up wrote in the blog post that these are the words of Sam Richards, sociology professor at Penn State University. This is what he said. In the video, I said what I said to you about, what did I say about this?
You're saying that like, oh, it was.
What did
you
I
thought it was
actually say?
stupid. Yeah. You thought
when
it was
we
stupid.
first started talking, what did I
Yeah, and
say?
you completely disagree with it. It makes no sense. It's not relevant to.
Counterproductive and
Yes.
it's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. And racist.
Yeah, in a way, you felt it was racist towards whites.
So
Guys, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving your boy a thumbs up on the video. And if you're not subscribed, maybe today, this will be the day that I earn your subscription. Let's get back to the video.
what I did was, you're like the reader of the person who comes along. This person puts this tweet out in the blog thing, and he writes, Sam Richards, sociology at Penn State. This is what he's teaching his students. You come along and read it. He's like the guy that did it, saying, no, this is Sam Richards that said that. And you're like, okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I must believe that he did because you're telling me that he did, right? And so, okay, how would you know otherwise, right? And you're here, so you're going like, yeah, this guy says a lot of crazy things, so maybe he said that. But you have no way of knowing, right? When in fact, I said the exact opposite. So it's one thing to take certain ideas and distort them a little bit, but when we take something and we explicitly lie about it, because in the video, everything I said to you, bro, everything I said to you about this is from a diversity training, this isn't me, this is kind of dumb, this is like really problematic, really disturbing, very troubling. That's everything I said in the video. But it's a different kind of reckoning that we need to go through when somebody watches the video and then explicitly lies and makes a new PowerPoint, a presentation, because that's not even the one I use. Go back to the other one. That's what's in the video. So you make a whole new one, right? And so this is a whole different kind of reckoning. And this is what we're dealing with now in this world, right? The racism. We're talking about white people, right? And this idea of just white people being oppressive and arrogant, but just being oppressive, bro? So my question to you is, when's the last time you oppressed somebody?
I can't recall. Don't even know if I have. I mean, I'm sure I have at some point. Somebody believes that I have for them, but I can't recall saying, oh yeah, I just oppressed that person.
But how would you know?
I guess I wouldn't know. There's no way, because I things that might oppress that person wouldn't oppress me, vice versa. It'd be a hard thing to tell if I offended somebody or bothered them with something I said or did.
Yeah, okay. So did you leave your house? You left your house today, right?
Yep.
It's about maybe you oppressed somebody on the way to class?
Potentially. I'm not sure how I would have done that.
Well, I don't know. Were you on your bike? Were you walking in a car?
I took the bus.
All right, you were taking the bus, so maybe you were breathing, right?
I guess, yeah.
Maybe
Maybe I was breathing too heavy.
Yeah, maybe you oppressed someone just by breathing. Cleo, what do you think? What's my message to him?
I think that just by existing, you're not oppressing others if you're not actively trying to do it, and if you don't realize it, then you're not doing it, I guess.
Wait, hang on. What do you think I'm saying to him? Do you think I'm saying that he is oppressing people, or
No,
he is
I
not?
think that you're saying that he isn't oppressing people just because, like, he's just existing. So he's not.
So that's what you took away from that. You didn't take away that I was telling him that he's oppressing people by breathing?
No.
Okay. So the next thing from this was the same class, bro. It's the same class as the other one with the Coca-Cola piece. So I brought these two guys on, and we were just yucking it up about some things, right? And I said, hey, by the way, guys, you're two white guys, right? When's the last time you oppressed somebody? Because I was going back to the Coca-Cola piece and having fun. Like, well, how, were you driving? Were you walking? Maybe you were breathing. You oppressed someone, they were breathing. And then we're yucking it up and like, yeah, right? The text of the one article on Fox News that went viral was Pennsylvania State University professor Sam Richards attempted to shame, here's the shame thing again, two white male students concerning privilege and discrimination during a lecture, telling one of them that if he is breathing or going outside, he may be oppressing somebody. So what happened with me was I started getting these letters, these emails about breathing. And I'm like, what the hell is this about? And like the emails were first about, whatever the other thing was. And then suddenly it's about breathing because this goes up, right? And this takes hold. And then it's like you're teaching people that white people that by breathing, they're oppressing people and one thing after another. So is that what happened, bro?
No, not at all. It's just kind of a hypothetical situation that you gave me in a way. And just said it is a possibility, but you didn't straight out say, yeah, you're oppressing me by breathing.
So here, I'm going to take my mask off now, right?
Okay.
All right, so you can see me.
Uh-huh.
And, dude, we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it just like I did in the video. You pressed anybody recently? You're a white guy? Like, you're an oppressive white guy, right? Oppressing anybody recently?
No, not really.
Come on, man. Like, you're white, dude. Like, how do you know? You've been like...
I guess I really don't know.
Yeah, all right. Were you outside today? Yeah, you were outside because you got here. So, like, what? You're breathing, right? Maybe you're oppressing people by breathing. Yuck, 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 right? And then we go on. That's the video. And so the key is we're in this world of scapegoating. And we're in this world of picking people out to be the representatives of all that we think is wrong with the world.
What happened to Sam Richards here, using him as a scapegoat? This happens to people all the time, especially with the media. They're on both sides, I'll say, especially these days, especially more on the left, but both sides of the media, there's a lot of gaslighting going on. But when you look at like the Washington Post, which is a very liberal newspaper, they'll print something about Trump on the front page that is factually incorrect, not at all what he said. But 4 days later, when they retract it and say that it was wrong, it's on like page 84 in the bottom corner. Nobody ever sees it. So people that read in the newspaper just think this is true. This happens all the time. How many times have Kamala Harris gone out and linked Trump to Project 25 and said that this is what he wanted to do? He has nothing to do with Project 25. They'll say that Trump tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. In fact, he never said that. He pledged not to cut Social Security and other popular retirement programs. But you'll see it from the left all the time. Now going back to the DEI portion of what he was talking about, we're seeing now, we're winning on this front right now. We got great guys out there like Robbie Starbuck, who's exposing like Harley Davidson and Jack Daniels, John Deere, for all their crazy DEI policies, how to be a better white person. Like, if a company does that, do you not know your audience, like Harley Davidson, Jack Daniels? Your audience are not the LGBTQ. And I would guess to say neither are their employees. I would guess that their employees are mostly white, probably conservative because of the states that these companies are in. All this DEI, affirmative action stuff, critical race theory, all it is anti-white nonsense. You would never be able to say that about any other race in America. Imagine saying black people are more oppressive, black people are more ignorant. You hear the term white rage or white tears. Imagine if you did an interview, if you're a famous person, you said, oh, black rage or black tears. You'd be canceled. You'd be called a racist. But it's okay to say that about white people. The same way it's okay to bash Christians, but not okay to bash any other religion. DEI has been good for nobody. The only people it's been good for are for the people that have made millions and profited out of being DEI executives. That's the only people that this has benefited. If you're a big company right now and you don't have a DEI program, you're called racist. But then again, if you have a DEI program, it's racist in its core. It's just anti-white and anti-male in many cases. We really have gotten to a point of excess. Like, we've gone too far. It's something I've talked about on this channel is, yes, there's been inequalities in the past, and that's what the critical race theory people will tell you, that there's been inequalities in the past towards women, black people, gays, pick a minority, right? And I'm not saying that there hasn't been, because there has been, but what you want, well, what people on the right want is that, look, listen, you just have to have an even playing field. We bring everybody to have an equal opportunity. Because in life, there's always going to be inequalities, right? Some people are going to be better looking and taller. In the dating landscape, in the dating market, that's a benefit to them. And look, if you're a really short, stocky dude, it's going to be harder for you. Some people are born into money. That's a big advantage. There's always going to be inequalities in life. If you're born poor, it's going to be harder. But what you want to do is give everybody the same chance. And that's what you want. You can't go out and overcorrect by saying because there was inequalities in the past that now you have to have an overcorrection, so you have to move a certain race of people up while bringing down another race of people. All you're doing is the reverse. And we've seen it through, you look at the Asians, and you even look at the black community, not the black community from America, but you look at some of the black people that have come in from Ghana, that have come in from the Caribbean, Jamaica. They've been able to be very successful. It tends to be black Americans that were there since the 60s with the Lyndon Baines Johnson program, where women decided to marry the government and get rid of their husband. Fatherless homes is a big problem here. We talk about this a lot because other minorities have been able to come into the country as the poorest classes, Asians in particular, and Indians, and have made it to the richest classes in the country. The highest paid people in the country are Asian females right now. What you want is equal opportunity. Trying to manufacture equity, which is what the left wants, by doing this nonsense, is just never going to work. And again, it's racist towards white people. They treat white people with these programs, with these DEI programs, be a better white person, like you're born with the original sin, and this is what they believe. Like you have the mark of Cain on you, that no matter what you do as a white person, you're going to be racist. And everything you do is rooted in racism, which is absolute nonsense. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.